Here we go. Boom. Looking on Wikipedia. Again, this is for FHA insured loan. FHA, or the program, originated during the Great Depression of the 1930s when the rates of foreclosures and defaults rose sharply, and the program was intended to provide lenders with sufficient insurance. The government subsidized some FHA programs, but the goal was making it to make it self-supporting based on borrowers' insurance premiums. Come on now, y'all. That's for people who have no money. All right, now it's saying here people are frequently refinance their FHA to get rid of their mortgage premium. Again, they have historically allowed lower income Americans to borrow money to purchase a home that they would not otherwise be able to afford. Why would we want to do that? Also, wouldn't one say the lower income Americans, based off the data at least, is black people? Black people don't got no houses. Like who? Black people, I guess they can't take advantage of the FHA loan. Just think the FHA loan, they require you to put more down than conventional. Conventional is 3%. FHA is 3.5%. So for every 100,000, you gotta be able to save $3,500. So you're getting towards that, upper $300,000, $400,000 mark for the median or average that we were looking at. Somebody need to have over $10,000 saved. Most people don't have $400. Half people don't have $400. Even more than that, don't have $1,000. Most people live in paycheck to paycheck. Where are you gonna get this $10K from? And again, for people who are able to save up this 3 or 3.5%, that's the most money they ever have saved. And as soon as they saved it, they didn't put it in an emergency fund or invest it, quote unquote here, invested. They went and used it to go get hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Just think about that. The most money most people ever have saved, they took that money and used it to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Most people have never saved up more than their down payment for their home, or their down payment in general for a car, whatever it is. 1% down mortgage program. Some mortgage lenders offer conventional mortgage programs with only 1% down. This includes Rocket Mortgage. For these programs, the lender pays 2% of the required 3%. Wow. What's the rules and what's the contract though? It didn't say what happens. I mean, you pay only 1%, they pay the other 2%, but okay. Good Neighbor Next Door is a program for borrowers who work in select public service professions, teachers, firefighters, law enforcement, and emergency medical technicians, and plan to buy a home in a qualifying area. Sponsored by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, aka HUD. The program provides a discount up to 50% on a home with a down payment of just $100. I think that's what they made use of SWAT. If you watch SWAT with Shamar Moore, I think that's what what's his name? My wife and I binged it. We finished watching it last year sometime. I can't remember the guy's name on SWAT, and I gotta look it up. Luca. There we go. Yeah, Luca. Luca bought a house. Yeah, and he and Jimmy moved into it, or Jimmy. I don't know if it was Jimmy, but Luca bought a house. It was real cheap. And I think that might have been what he had used. Only 150% off the house. Only $100 down. That's crazy. And for somebody like people in police, law enforcement, they make a lot of money because they can just insure an infinite amount of overtime because their job's 25/8, and then they can do security, right? They can do all these various things because their skill set. Law enforcement, people in law enforcement can make a whole bunch of money. And saying 50% down. Now where are they living at? At least in the TV show in California, it looked like Luca was living like pretty much Compton. Like they put him where it says these qualifying areas. But hey, pros and cons of a no down payment mortgage. The ability to buy a home with no or very little money can be appealing, but there are drawbacks. The main drawback, regardless if you have to pay PMI or not, you got to pay 100% of the loan. That's a major drawback. You paying interest on the 100. Whew, that just give me chills. Pros of no down payment mortgages. You can buy a home now instead of later. Sure, I would consider that a pro, but Bankrate does. When you don't have to come up with a substantial down payment, it's easier to buy a home sooner. I don't like the word easier here. It's more accessible. It doesn't take as long. It's shorter as far as a time standpoint, but I wouldn't say easier. All right. You can keep more cash on hand. People don't have no cash. Even if you have enough to make a sizable down payment, you might want to keep that money liquid for things like emergency savings, remodeling, or investing. I want to be clear: your emergency savings is different from your down payment, different from your remodeling, different from your investing. These are all different buckets of money. So you should have first your emergency savings saved, and then your down payment. There should be two separate buckets. If you got $20,000 saved for your emergency fund, and you want to put 30,000 down, you're gonna need to have $50,000 saved. If you want to have $10,000 for remodeling, then you need to have $60,000 saved. Right? You got it. Right, investing this money is gone. It's in a brokerage account or your retirement account, whatever it is, brokerage, whatever. It's in the stock market, so it's gone. Not it's in your bank account. Cons of no down payment mortgage. Look how many cons there are. You'll have little or no equity. Yes, you'll have no equity if you do 100% on. I'm telling you that. You'll have equity, I guess, if you make your first payment. Maybe not though. Depending on how high interest rates are now. Nah, you can't be. If you do a no down mortgage, if you starting off at negative AM, my goodness, I'm gonna have to pull up a calculator to see how that works. Not right now though, but another day. When you start with a low or zero down loan, you'll have little to no equity. If home values fall, you could end up owing more on the home than it's worth, making it difficult to sell or refinance. Here's the one thing with that. See, why do you need to sell or refinance your home if you can afford it? Right? Regardless, see, if the value of your home goes down, if the value of something goes down, that only impacts you if you're trying to liquidate the assets. Or if you're out here doing a comparison, a pissing contest with your net worth. But if your home is worth $500,000, and let's say your home's worth $500,000, let's say your mortgage payment is for $5,000, just for simple math, and your income's continuing to increase. What's it matter if your house, your home price decreases and you're not looking to sell your home? What's it matter? It doesn't do anything to you. Like the value of your home doesn't do anything. Hell, it might help you out because your property taxes might not go up as much. If y'all keep seeing me look up for the YouTube people, there's a bug coming over here, and I wanted to get a little bit closer so I can kill it. Anyways, when I'm done recording. Oh, yeah, okay. Your interest rate might be higher. Likely, you might pay a higher interest rate for a no or a low money down loan. Usually, the VA though offers lower interest rates than everybody else. Got to shop around. That's because with less money tied up in the home, a mortgage lender might view you as more of a risk. You would be viewed, I would say, as the biggest risk if you don't put any money down. Anyways. Of course, the higher your interest rate, the more you'll pay overall. Yes, you'll need a bigger mortgage. The less you put down, the more you'll need to borrow, which means you'll pay more in interest over the life of the loan. Yep. You'll pay fees. Both VA and USDA come with fees, which adds to the cost of the loan. All loans have fees. Origination fees, they all have fees.